Hi everyone, it's Taylor. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm an American expat living in Malaysia and I like to share my life and travels with you. Today I'm going to interview my new friend Rhadd. He's pretty rad, as you'll hear. He's an American expat and he's lived in Malaysia for 19 years. Interested to find out why? Stay tuned. So everyone, this is Rhadd. He's from Louisiana, if anybody knows where that is. Everyone's heard of New Orleans, I'm sure, but that's not where he's from. So Rhadd, can you tell us a little bit about your background in the US and what got you to Malaysia?
Well, I was born in just outside of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I grew up there. We raised beef cattle, and it was a very rural but happy childhood existence. After school, I was always into music, so I became a musician and was fortunate enough to have some success in that. And after a number of years of playing music and touring, I decided it was time to move abroad. I had seen a lot of the world playing music, but I didn't see anything except for hotels and airports and venues. So after that, I decided it was time to actually go see the world for real. And I started out by moving to Thailand.
Wow, that must have been a culture shock.
Well, I had traveled quite a bit to begin with, so I've always been pretty good wherever I am. It does make it a lot easier. I feel pretty much at home wherever I lay my hat.
Did your band tour outside the US?
Yes, we did on occasion. And I did love Asia, especially our trips to Japan. So
I haven't been there yet.
it's lovely, a truly unique place, one of a kind.
So you started out in Thailand. How long were you there?
Not very long at all, actually. I had got a place near Phuket, and it was lovely. It was right on the water, just a beautiful place. And then around Christmas of that same year, I had been speaking with this girl, and she said, "Hey, I've got family in Kuching, and I was about to go back in Borneo. And would you like to go back and celebrate Christmas and visit Borneo?" I said, "Well, that would be lovely." So I went back there with her and we had a great time. The day after Christmas, the tsunami hit and washed my house away.
Oh my God. Wow. Well, no one expects their house is going to wash away while they're gone.
Indeed. So after that, I decided I did not want to live near the water anymore. I was going to live inland and up high for a while. The girl I traveled to Kuching with was living here in KL, told me about the place, so she gave me a place to stay for a little while until I got my own spot, and I just fell in love with the city and the country and the people and everything.
Yeah, it's an amazing place to live. But 19 years, that's an amazing long time. So you eventually got married? Was it to the same girl or no?
It sure was.
Okay, that's cool.
It sure was. She saved my life, and she's been making it better ever since. It'll be 13 years in
Wow,
May.
congratulations. That's wonderful. What do you like best about KL?
The centralization of it. It's easy to travel from here. KLIA and or for the region KLIA2, it's so easy to get just about anywhere in the world from here. I love the food. The access to food from all over the world is just spectacular. I like the people. I like almost everything except the weather.
Yeah, we were just talking at lunch how we wish there was at least just 1 month out of the year that was a little bit cooler.
Just one. Is that too much to ask for?
Really? So I understand since you've been in Kuala Lumpur that you've done acting.
I have done a little acting. I started doing voice work, which is something I had done before in the US. And
What does that entail? It's not just strictly like for cartoons or something like that, is
I
it?
have done work for cartoons. I've done commercials. I've done audio plays, a little bit of everything. So anything that requires my voice, I have done probably once.
So you told me at lunch that you're here on a spouse visa and you're trying to get permanent residency, but that's a long haul.
That is a very long haul. I've been waiting for about 5 years on my permanent residency, and to be fair, they did tell me when I applied that it would be 2 to 7 years, and they weren't lying.
Well, after the 7 years, then you can start worrying.
But again, that was also 5 governments ago, so I don't know if anyone's actually even looked at my application.
Might be in a
years.
storeroom somewhere.
Probably never to be seen again.
So does your wife work?
No, she is focused primarily on our passion project of rescuing and rehoming cats.
Yes, I think that's one reason that you were attracted to my channel, because it focuses on one of the most famous cats in Malaysia, Earl Grey. Right, Earl Grey?
Hey, buddy. Earl Grey is so handsome and so beautiful. The videos do not do him justice.
So, how did you get into cat rescue?
Well, growing up the way I did, there were always farm cats. We always had lots. And we lived in an area where people would drop off almost always pregnant mother cats, and then we would end up with dozens of kittens. And so I've always loved cats. I love all animals, but I've always had a special affinity for cats. And when I came here, for the first 2 years I was here, I didn't have a cat. And I missed it. I had always had cats all my adult life as well, and I really missed it. A friend had rescued this cat, a little tiny ball of fluff, and just asked if we could foster. And it was my first foster fail. I fell in love with him, and he is our oldest.
Oh, yeah. So he's still there.
And one became another, became another. We are very good at rescuing and rehoming, but our brood that we have at the house are mostly either fails due to health concerns, they have special needs of some way, or one of my cats, Colin Farrell, he was extremely feral. And it took almost a year before we could even touch him. Most people weren't going to take the time to do that, so he became ours.
Wow, I just think that's really great. I mean, there's such a need for cat rescue here in Malaysia. And we were talking earlier about how the attitude towards pets in I don't know, probably all of Asia is a little different than in the West. But in fact, I'm going to tell this story, and it's just a horrible story. But in my old building in Penang, this woman I knew had cats, and I said, "Where'd you get your cats?" And she said, "Oh, it's an interesting story." She said, "I was walking down by the guardhouse one day, and I saw these guards gathered around this bucket. And I thought, what are they doing?" And I walked over there, and they were drowning kittens.
Oh my God.
Because they were female.
Oh God.
You know, that's the attitude of some people, you know, that
Yes.
get rid of the females because they're just going to reproduce. So she saved those cats.
How wonderful.
So that was sort of a heartwarming story, but it's horrifying too. It's just, that's not the way to do it, you know.
There are cruel people everywhere.
I don't think they were
in this
being
world.
cruel or trying to think. I don't think they thought they were being cruel.
Well, but your cruelty is defined by your actions, not necessarily your intention.
No, that's true. Anybody that needs a cat, there's plenty of cats here to find. And, you know, I mean, just Earl Grey, everybody knows Earl Grey just walked up to me in a restaurant, and that's how I found him.
We have a couple that just walked up to us in restaurants, and many of our rescues are like that. We have a lot of what we call kopitiam kitties. And they are there, and because a lot of people will drop off cats at kopitiams or mamaks because they're like, well, at least there they can find food.
Right.
So that happens quite a bit. We work with a couple of very good friends of ours who are veterinarians with their clinic, and when they have cats that are abandoned, we help rescue and rehome them as well. And one of the big things we focus on is spaying and neutering, because if you spay the population and neuter them, then you won't have the overpopulation of kittens.
Right, right.
I know we've rehomed well into the hundreds of cats.
Wow.
And we've spayed and neutered at least that many, if not more. Some cats that you capture are just too feral to ever be rehomed, and so at least then we vaccinate them, we spay them, and we put them back out into the population. At least that way they'll be healthier, they're not transmitting any diseases to the other colony, and it's beneficial to the entire community that way.
Let me ask you something though. I don't know if I'm just not seeing it correctly, but to me, there's less feral cats here than I found in the United States. The cats here tend to be friendly. I mean,
many of them are. And that just has a lot to do with the fact that in general, people are nice to animals. They will come up and pet them. A lot of them have to be friendlier because they rely on people to feed them. So they'll come up to them at the restaurant, like your boy Earl Grey here did. Or they'll have to, roll on the ground and make a cute face in order to maybe you'll bring me in, or maybe you'll start bringing me some food. They have to be a little more friendly in order to eat, because it's not like in the US where you get they could wander out into a field and get little field mice. I mean, the cats here are not going to be tangling with Malaysian rats.
no, absolutely not. I think there's a perception from people who don't live here that there's a lot of rats here, and there probably are. But in 9 years that I've lived here, I think I've only seen 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I've seen more than that.
More than
but
2?
I've seen quite a few more than 2. But it's not rat infested by any means. But in any large city, you're going to have a rat population. I mean, that's just
And the
part
cats,
of it.
the cats don't take care of that at all?
The rats get to be a fairly difficult size for most cats to tangle with.
I think Earl Grey could handle one, but he's 7 kilo.
And Earl Grey's like, nah, I'm not down with that.
I'm gonna show some pictures of your cats here, and I'm sure if people are looking for cats, I'll get you in touch with Rhadd, because I'm sure many of you need a cat.
Everyone needs a cat.
Yes.
And if you are in the Malaysian KL area and you're interested in a cat, you can check us out at Cattastics, which on Instagram, that's Cattastiks.
I'll put it up here.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's Cattastics at Instagram.
That's great. Let's talk a bit more about the U.S. Do you ever get back to the U.S. anymore?
I go back about every 2 years, barring major pandemics and lockdowns, to go visit my parents. And it's always nice to go home and see my family. We usually go at Christmas time because A, it's cooler, B, it's Christmas. Who doesn't enjoy Christmas with the family?
Oh, we have pretty nice Christmas here in Malaysia, too.
We do. I enjoyed all of the mall trappings this year. I sent a bunch of photos out that showed how all the malls here in KL go buck wild on Christmas decorations.
It's unbelievable. I couldn't believe it the first year I was here.
It really is quite amazing. Next year, Michelle and I are going, and we're going to meet up with my parents, and we're going to do some of the Western national parks.
Oh, cool.
We'll do that in springtime.
I've been to Yellowstone in the Grand Canyon, that's it.
Because Michelle hasn't had an opportunity to really see a lot of the U.S. Because
Sure.
usually when we go home, we stay pretty close to home base and family and home and hearth and holidays and all of that. So this will be a nice opportunity for her to really see some of the beautiful parts of America that I'm always telling her about.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, do you have any favorite parts of Malaysia that you visit regularly?
I really do enjoy Kuching quite a bit. That's where Michelle is from, in the state of Sarawak in
And it's
Malaysia,
Cat
Borneo.
City.
It is Cat City. How do you not love that? The food is excellent. The people are lovely. It's a nice place.
I've been there once and for about a week, and it's really laid back and really comfortable.
It is. I like the islands, especially along the west coast. Langkawi is nice. There's a lot of Malaysia. I like Malacca very much. The food, spectacular.
And that's just like a 2-hour drive,
Yep.
so that's nothing.
Ipoh also has great food. I like the Highlands, Cameron and Fraser's Hill, when you really need that nice burst of cool air.
That's the only thing we can do to get cool here is to go to the mountains.
Yeah.
So I know you have a car, and I know you've lived here 19 years, but you told me you still don't know KL very well?
No, I know KL okay. It's just they keep changing the roads. They are constantly building. What used to be a very straight shot is now a roundabout with a strange little offshoot. And then there's 6 months of just where they've just put up barricades and you've got to go somewhere else. And then by the time they take the barricades down, the way you used to go is no longer there. Or the way you used to turn is now blocked off. Or a place that was blocked off is now here. That's just how they roll in KL, which makes it impossible to ever truly know this city.
Yeah, that's true. So you live in Desa Park City?
Well, I live near Desa Park City. Very close to there in what they call now, it used to be called Bukit Segambut, but in order to charge more for the new things that they're building, they now call it North Kiara Hills.
Oh, yeah, that's fancy. The
Sure.
Mount Kiara name. Yeah.
Exactly. You add the Mont Kiara name and you add several zeros to your sales prices.
So this shows how big KL is, though, is that I've lived here 2 years now, and I haven't even been to Mont Kiara. I haven't been to Desa Park City. I have been to Bangsar, I've been to Damansara Heights, but there's still a lot of KL for me to explore.
Well, I'm very close to Damansara Heights, probably about 10-minute drive.
Okay.
It's not too bad. In fact, if you were at Damansara Heights, another 5 minutes up the road and you're in Mont Kiara.
Right.
So it's very close.
Yeah, it's all right
But
next
on
to
a
each other.
motorcycle, it's quite a trip. Well, and it's a very large city. I used to live in this part of town when I first moved here in 2004 and 2005. And it has changed dramatically in that time. I don't usually have the need to come down here unless either I'm working or if I have to go to the U.S. Embassy for something. Those are about the only things that really bring me downtown anymore.
Anyway, Rhadd, I want to thank you so much for reaching out to me. As you said, Michelle, your wife said, oh, there's an American, you should go get to know him. You need an American friend. So, and
It's been a while.
I always like to have new friends too, and you know, we have so much in common, being from the U.S., being from the South, loving cats, and all of that. So I can see a real friendship going from here.
Fantastic.
So I want to thank you so much for coming today and talking to everybody. I'm sure they'll enjoy it.
Thank you, Taylor. It's been a joy, and it's been fantastic meeting you.
Yeah. So that's all we have for today, everybody. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and check the notification bell too so you won't miss any of my future content. But that's all we have for today. I don't know what we're going to do now. Maybe play with Aerogray. But
Yay!
so that's all, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.